Hello everyone, once again, welcome back. Today is a very, very exciting day because it was the release of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, and this is a book that I've been looking forward to very, very highly ever since it was announced way back in, I think, June. So if you're unfamiliar, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons is really kind of a deep dive into a lot of information regarding basically everything related to dragons and to draconic lore and all that kind of information. You know, it's half the name of Dungeons and Dragons, so it's about time that we got a really in-depth book that really takes a good look into it. With Fizban's, we get, I think there's like 20 different types of dragons. We get information about dragon lairs, we get information about creating dragons, and we get some new subclasses, and we get new race features. We get so much new stuff that has been added to 5e with it. So it's something I'm very excited to take a deep dive into. Alright, so to kick things off, we are going to be looking at the two new subclass features that we got with Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, and that is the Way of the Ascendant Dragon Monk and the Drakewarden Ranger. Alright, so firstly we are going to begin with the Way of the Ascendant Dragon Monk. So let's just go ahead and read the blurb. It says, the dragon god Bahamut is known to travel the material plane in the guise of a young monk, and legend says that he founded the first monastery of the Way of the Ascendant Dragon in this guise. The fundamental teaching of this tradition holds that by emulating dragons, a monk becomes a more integrated part of the world and its magic. By altering their spirit to resonate with draconic might, monks who follow this tradition augment their prowess in battle, bolster their allies, and can even soar through the air on draconic wings. But all this power is in service of a greater goal, achieving a spiritual unity with the essence of the material plane. As a follower of the Ascendant Dragon, you decide how you unlock the power of the dragon within yourself. The Ascendant Dragon table offers a number of possibilities. So we have the Ascendant Dragon origin table down here below. It is a d6 roll, and you can just kind of choose, or you can roll if you like that sort of randomness. You hone your abilities by aligning your spirit with a dragon's world-altering power. A dragon personally took an active role in shaping your inner energy. The fifth one, you found a scroll within a draconic tome, I guess, that contained inspiring new techniques. So, you know, there's a ton of different options that you can look at and you can choose from, really depending on the flavor and the kind of energy that you're going for with your character. This can be, you know, a great inspiration, a great starting point for that. Alright, so next up at third level you get a feature called Draconic Disciple. It says, you channel your draconic energy to magnify your presence and imbue your unarmed strikes with an essence of a dragon's breath. You gain the following benefits. Draconic Presence. If you fail a Charisma Intimidation or a Charisma Persuasion check, you can use your reaction to reroll the check and tap into the mighty presence of dragons. Once this feature turns a failure into a success, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. I really kind of like this feature at the bottom of it here, because it's something that you don't have to be so concerned about, like managing this additional resource and when should I use it, when shouldn't I use it. You can use it whenever you want, and if it doesn't work, it's fine. It doesn't actually expend your use of it. So I think that's really cool, because it only actually expends that use once it's successfully turned a failure into a success. So I think that's a really great addition to it. I kind of hope we get a lot more features that work like that, to be honest. You also get Draconic Strike. When you damage a target with an unarmed strike, you can change the damage type to Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. That can be really great for overcoming tons of resistances. That can be really effective. Tongues of Dragons. You learn to speak, read, and write Draconic or one other language of your choice, obviously if you already have Draconic, so pretty cool. Next up, also at third level, you get another feature called Breath of the Dragon. You can channel destructive waves of energy like those created by the dragons you emulate. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of the attacks with an exhalation of draconic energy in either a 20-foot cone or a 30-foot line that is 5 feet wide, your choice. Choose a damage type: Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw against your key save DC, taking damage of the chosen damage type equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. At 11th level, the feature increases to 3 rolls of your martial arts die, and you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. While you have no uses available, you can spend 2 key points to use this feature again. So this is becoming a little bit of a common trend. They're giving us, you know, ways of regenerating and alternative ways of using features that don't either rely on even necessarily proficiency bonus, which I thought was an already great addition and a great adjustment that they've made in recent books. But even all now, just being able to spend key points to use some of these features again. I think it's really cool. I also think it really kind of amazingly taps into that kind of the sort of essence of this dragon energy. It's really powerful, and it's kind of like imbued within your nature as you're resonating with the material plane. So I think it makes a lot of thematic sense, and I'm really excited to see that. Next up, at 6th level, you get a feature called Wings Unfurled. When you use your Step of the Wind, you can unfurl spectral draconic wings from your back that vanish at the end of your turn. While the wings exist, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. So flying at 6th level can be pretty crazy. Also, with how fast monks can move in general, with things like Step of the Wind, that can be pretty amazing. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Next up, we have the Aspect of the Worm. This comes in at 11th level. It says, the power of your draconic feature now radiates from you, warding your allies and inspiring fear in your enemies. As a bonus action, you can create an aura of draconic power that radiates 10 feet from you for 1 minute. For the duration, you get the following effects of your choice. So you can choose one of these. You don't get all of them. Frightful Presence. When you create the aura as a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can choose a creature within that aura. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your key save DC or become frightened for a minute. The target can repeat it at the end of their turn, ending it on a successful save. Or Resistance. You can choose a damage type when you activate this aura. Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. You and your allies within the aura have resistance to that damage. Once you create this aura, you can't create it again until you finish a long rest, or unless you spend 3 key points to use it again. So again, really awesome. You get an alternative way of using it. This is kind of like Absorb Elements, but kind of way better, I guess, because, well, in a sense, it can be way better. You can only use it once-ish, depending if you're spending a lot of key points on it, but it also affects your allies at the same time. So it's a really, really great boon. Lastly, up at 17th level, you get a new feature called Ascendant Aspect. It says your draconic spirit reaches its peak. You gain the following benefits. So again, importantly, this is all of them. You don't actually just choose one. So this is Augment Breath. When you use your Breath of the Dragon, you can spend 1 key point to augment its shape and power. The exhalation of draconic energy becomes either a 60-foot cone or a 90-foot line that is 5 feet wide, your choice. And each creature in that area takes damage equal to 4 rolls of your martial arts die on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one, so increasing the damage yet again. You can also choose to get Blind Sight out to a range of 10 feet, or you can choose, or you get as well, sorry, not choose, you get as well Blind Sight out to a range of 10 feet, and you also get Explosive Fury. When you activate your Aspect of the Worm, Draconic Fury explodes from you. Choose any number of creatures you can see in your aura. Each of these creatures must succeed on a dex save against your key save DC or take 3d10 acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage, your choice. All in all, I think the way of the Ascendant Dragon Monk is really cool. I've always been a fan of Monk. I think the monks, they're really cool. I love that they're very, very different from a lot of the other classes. And I think, I mean, what's more cool than sort of embodying the aspect of a dragon? So I think these are really great. I love that there's so many alternative ways to actually use and activate these features that don't just rely on either, regenerating through long rest and things like that. Obviously, monks don't have access to spell slots, so being able to expend key points to use these features, I think, is a really, really great addition to the flexibility, because we are seeing a lot of other classes get those options to do that. So it kind of keeps up with that balance, and I think it's really awesome to see that they incorporated that. All right, the second subclass we are taking a look at is the Drakewarden Ranger. So we'll go ahead and read the blurb again. It says, your connection to the natural world takes the form of a draconic spirit, which can manifest in physical form as a drake. As your powers grow, your drake grows as well, blossoming from a small four-legged companion to a majestic winged creature, large and strong enough for you to ride. Along the way, you gain an increasing share of the awe-inspiring power of dragons. Consider the source of your draconic spirit you have bonded with. The Drakewarden Origin table offers you some examples. So again, we get another d6 just to kind of give you a little bit of idea of the flavor that you want to go for when you're choosing your Drakewarden Origin. Alright, so in terms of features, at 3rd level you get a feature called Draconic Gift. The bond you share with your Drake creates a connection to dragonkind, granting you understanding and empowering your presence. You gain the following benefits. Thaumaturgy, you get to learn the Thaumaturgy cantrip. Tongue of Dragons, you learn to speak, read, write in Draconic or another language of your choice. You also get, at 3rd level, you get another feature called the Drake Companion. So this is finally that you actually get this little Drake follower that can, go around with you. You get this really awesome art over here too. It's really cool. So it says, as an action, you can magically summon the Drake that is bound to you. It appears in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you. The Drake is friendly to you and your companions, and it obeys your commands. See its in-game statistics. You can use your proficiency bonus in its places. When you summon the Drake, choose a damage type listed in its Draconic Essence trait. You can determine the cosmetic characteristics of the Drake, such as its color, its scale texture, or any visible effect of its Draconic Essence of your choice. It has no effect on its in-game statistics. In combat, the Drake shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it can take on its turn is the dodge action, unless you take the bonus action to command it to take another action. That action can be one in its stat block or some other action. If you're incapacitated, the Drake can take any action of its choice, not just dodge. The Drake remains until it is reduced to 0 hit points, until you use your feature to summon the Drake again, or until you die. Anything the Drake was wearing or carrying is left behind when the Drake vanishes. Once you summon your Drake, you cannot do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 1st level or higher to resummon it. So once again, we get another alternative way. So in terms of the Drake in combat, it functions very much like the Artificer's 3rd level sort of automaton feature. It does the exact same thing in terms of the actions that it can take, only taking dodge unless you use your bonus action. So yeah, it's a really, really cool thing. It's got a lot of flavor added to it. Initially, I guess it's not the best companion, so we can see it here. Armor class is a 14 plus your proficiency bonus, so that's actually not too bad. Base level, it's going to start out straight up at 16, even at 1st, or I guess 3rd level. We can see here that Draconic Essence thing here, where it lets you choose the damage type. Again, it's Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. Action's got a pretty standard bite action. Reactions, you can use Infuse Strike. Whenever another creature within 30 feet of the Drake that it can see hits a target with a weapon attack, the Drake infuses the strike with its essence, causing the target to take an extra 1d6 damage. So that's pretty cool. So you can use the effects of the Drake to be able to help your allies actually empower their strikes as well. So it's kind of that draconic energy radiating out to not just you, but actually to the rest of your party as well. Next up at 7th level, you get the feature called Bond of Fang and Scale. The bond you share with your Drake intensifies, protecting you and stoking the dragon's fury. When you summon your Drake, it grows wings on its back and gains a flying speed equal to its walking speed. In addition, while the Drake is summoned, you and your Drake gain the following benefits. Drake Mount. The Drake grows to medium size, reflecting your special bond, and you can use the Drake as a mount if your size is medium or smaller. While you are riding the Drake, it cannot use its flying speed of this feature. Magic Fang, the Drake's bite attack deals an extra 1d6 damage of the type that is chosen from the Draconic Essence, and resistance, you gain resistance to a damage type of your choice from the Draconic Essence. Overall, this is a really cool feature. I kind of like the flavor of, you can actually use the dragon as a mount, but very, very importantly, it can't fly while you are mounting it in this capacity. So I think it's really interesting. I think it's really cool. Again, you get extra damage. You can give resistance. There's a lot of really, really powerful stuff that kind of grows with you as the Drake is growing. At 11th level, you get a feature called Drake's Breath. As an action, you can exhale a 30-foot cone of damaging breath, or you can cause the Drake to exhale it. Choose Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison damage, your choice, and it doesn't have to match your Drake's Draconic Essence. Each creature in the cone must make a dex save against your spell save DC, taking 8d6 damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. It's kind of like it's basically a fireball, but you can choose any kind of damage type, which is great because fire is obviously one of the most resistant damage types. So being able to choose something that's maybe not quite as often, things like cold maybe, it can be really, really effective. The damage increases to 10d6 when you reach 15th level with the class. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. 3rd level or higher spell slots are obviously pretty tight for Rangers. They don't really get all that many. That said, their spell list isn't great either, so maybe this is more worth it than a lot of those 3rd level or higher spells. At 15th level, you get a feature called Perfected Bond. Your bond to your Drake reaches the pinnacle of its power. While your Drake is summoned, you and the Drake gain the following benefits. Empowered Bites. The Drake's bite attack gains an extra 1d6 of the damage type chosen for its Draconic Essence, for a total of 2d6 extra damage. Large Drake. The Drake grows to its large size. When you ride the Drake, it is no longer prohibited from using its flying speed of the Bond and Fang scale. And reflexive resistance. When either you or your Drake takes damage while you are within 30 feet of each other, you can use your reaction to give yourself or the Drake resistance to that instance of damage. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So I think this is really cool. I especially love the capstone features here. I love that it kind of builds to the point that you're actually getting this dragon. I love the thought of you kind of, as you're progressing as an adventurer, you're growing from this small little Drake, small creature, to this large winged beast that you can now fly and sort of exhale this, fiery infernos and bite, and you can use the essence between your connection between each other to be able to gain resistances to damage. So overall, I think the Drakewarden Ranger is really, really awesome, and I love the flavor of it. Alright guys, so that has been a quick look at the 2 new subclasses that we got in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be taking a pretty deep dive into just about everything that's in this book right now, so I hope you enjoyed that. But until the next one, take care.